The moment you realize how you receive love, everything about self love changes. It's not that you're bad at loving yourself, it's that you're loving yourself in ways that don't feel meaningful to you, that aren't fulfilling. We repeat what we were taught, what may look like self care, what provides very quick comfort, but it's not what truly fills us emotionally. And when love doesn't land where it's needed, it feels like something is missing, even when you're trying your best. Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel here at True Reality Life, where we talk about the true realities of the life around us, beautiful, ugly, and everything in between. My name is Amber, and I'm so grateful for you joining me here today for us to talk about mental health and wellness in our everyday life. Today, we're going a little bit deeper into what we touched on last week, the idea that self care cannot exist without self love. But what I realized is self love is not restorative unless it's in your own love language. So today we're going to cover why you should love yourself in your own love language and what that might look like. The same way that you would want your spouse, your friends, your family to love you in your own love language, you have to be able to provide that for yourself. We're first going to cover why loving yourself in the wrong way can still leave you emotionally and mentally drained, how your upbringing probably shaped the way that you love yourself every day. And then we're going to finish off with what loving yourself and your own love language might look like in your everyday life. I know last week we discussed tying self love into our self care actions and habits that we're creating for ourselves in order to provide more of a refreshing sense of fulfillment in our self care activities. But as I was giving this advice and kind of reflecting on what self love looked like in just simply existing with yourself, I realized that I was perceiving it from my own eyes, from my own love language, because my own love language is very much quality time with a focus on self affirmations as well. So that's why it's so important for me to spend quality time with myself, to just simply exist and hang out with myself and make time for myself, while also the things that I bring up about journaling or how I write self affirmations and things like that. It's because those are my love languages. Those are the things that I need. But that may not apply to you if that's not your love language. It might not be refreshing or fulfilling for you if your love language is physical touch or gift giving. And speaking of gift giving, I realized in all of this processing that I consistently will buy myself things every time that I feel down or depressed or anything like that. And so I was like, well, maybe that's my love language of gift giving. And I realized, no, it's really not, because it's not fulfilling to me. I buy myself things and then I feel guilty about it. Why did I spend money? Why did I do that? But what I realized is growing up, my parents, especially my mom, because her experience with love from her mother was very much gift giving, was purchasing things, and that was their way of showing love. So every time my mom felt disconnected from us, she would buy us things. She would think that that's the way that she showed her love, and we were supposed to receive that as loving. If we acted out in any way, it hurt her because she was trying to show us love and we weren't receiving it that way. So I realized in me choosing to buy myself things whenever I'm feeling down and depressed, it was this little kid version of myself trying to fulfill that need, thinking, hey, this is your source of connection. This is your source of love because you're used to that, because that's what's comfortable to you. somebody buying you something might be love. But then why wasn't I feeling fulfilled? Why wasn't that refilling my cup? Because that wasn't my love language. Although I was trying to fill this void with what I was familiar with from growing up like that, if that's the love that I would receive, that doesn't mean it was the right love for me. That was actually tuning into my own language. So I want you to take a moment to think about what is something that you do for yourself whenever you're feeling down or depressed? What is something you might do? Do you seclude yourself? Do you read a good book? Do you buy yourself things? I want you to think about those moments and what do you naturally do? And then think about, is it fulfilling for you? Do you feel refreshed after doing those things? Because maybe your body is craving something different. Maybe your body is trying to tell you that that's not your love language. And if you pay attention closely, you'll be able to discover what your true love language is. It's almost as if your heart is speaking a whole different language. And it's so important for you to discover what language that is so that you can nurture yourself and your heart and your mind in that language so that you feel loved and cared for by yourself, just as if you would expect from somebody else. So I keep talking about love language and find your love language. Most people know what I'm talking about, but I do want to touch on exactly the 5 different love languages that became a popularized concept from the book The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. So he discusses the 5 love languages to be quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and gift giving. I'm sure most of you have heard about these 5 things. And if you want to know more information on this, I am going to make a whole nother video next week about the 5 love languages and what that looks like. So stay tuned for that. So as you can see, there's 5 different ways, and I'm sure there's subcategories to them all, but there's 5 main ways that your body wants to be loved, prefers to be loved. And a lot of times, if you notice, we have a really bad tendency of loving other people the way that we want to be loved, and that creates such a disconnect. So, learning to love yourself in your own love language almost gives you an advantage because you know yourself the best and you're getting to know yourself even more in this mental health journey that you're on. You have such a good insight to discover which love language works best for you so that you can show up for yourself in that way. So I know we have this tendency to love ourselves the way that feels comfortable, the way that we might have been loved growing up. And you can kind of think about, what did that look like growing up? What did love look like in your home? Was it gift giving? Did your parents spend quality time with you? Did they do things for you? Did they take you places for experiences? Did they hug on you? Think of what love looked like in your home growing up and think if that was fulfilling for you. But then think about the way that you show love today and do those align? Is the way that you're showing love to yourself and to other people just copying what you were exposed to growing up? Or is it actually fulfilling and refreshing to you personally? Because a lot of times we go with what's comfortable for us, what's familiar to us, what might provide a quick relief to whatever emotional stressor you're experiencing. But that does not mean that that is your love language to continue forward in your journey. It is so important for you to learn to love yourself in your own love language because of the similar things I talked about in my last episode about self love and why that's so important. But where I was talking about quality time and words of affirmation, that might look different for you. But it's still the same message of self love being so important, so that you can take care of yourself, so that you're not so reactive in your everyday life, so that your nervous system knows that it can relax and that you can learn to trust yourself and show up for yourself. By doing this, it'll strengthen your identity. It'll make you more comfortable setting boundaries for yourself and enforcing those. You'll walk around with more confidence because you know who you are. You know how to love yourself. You're not relying on anybody else to fulfill and refill your cup. Learning to love yourself in your own love language is a matter of feeling restored, that you're not simply distracting yourself by buying yourself things if that's not your love language, like I do. It's a momentary hit of dopamine distracting myself to keep me from what's really going on. But you have to sit with yourself and see, what am I needing right now? What does my body need from me? Learn to listen and learn to respond appropriately. So, I want to touch on what exactly this looks like in your everyday life. So, starting off, quality time. What does loving yourself in that love language look like? It's the examples I've kind of been using. Alone time, simply existing with yourself, spending quality time with yourself, and learning to love that version of yourself. Words of affirmation. To love yourself in this way is journaling or positive self talk. This is why I love self affirmations, like having an app on my phone that literally has self affirmations of I am good enough, I am strong, I am smart. Those little self affirmations go a long way for people who have that love language of words of affirmation. Because if you're not hearing it from other people, you have to be telling yourself that to fulfill your need in that aspect. Acts of service. This one can be kind of difficult because what we view of acts of service is usually doing something for somebody else so that they don't have to do it. So for this one, I want you to think about you doing something for your future self. So I'm going to do something today so that I don't have to do it tomorrow. I'm going to clean the kitchen before I go to bed so that I can wake up in the morning and not have to do that. That's one way that you can love yourself if that's your love language. Doing something now so that you don't have to do it later. The next one is physical touch. So, again, when you're with other people, this one's a little bit easier. You can hug people, you can hold their hand. And I mean, you can technically do that for yourself if you wanted to. You can hug yourself or hold your own hand if you want to. But something that is fulfilling for people with this love language is something that I constantly try to do, but it's not very fulfilling to me because it's not my primary love language, is doing your hair, doing a skincare routine, getting your nails done, going to a spa or getting a massage, taking a hot bath or shower, doing some kind of exfoliation. Anything that has to do with the physical connection with your own body to feel beautiful in your own skin. That is how you can love yourself if that is your love language, physical touch. And last but not least, gift giving. Now, this one, of course, the typical, you can buy yourself things, buy yourself a new pair of shoes or a new outfit or something that makes you feel good. Buy a new journal, a new book, anything like that. And I have this bad habit, of course. But it doesn't always have to be a financial strain on you. Think about your favorite gifts in the world that somebody has given you. Sometimes it can just be a thoughtful gift, whether you're writing yourself a note and you're leaving it for yourself, you're making yourself a picture to hang on the wall, something that you're giving to yourself that you would appreciate. And only you can really know that for yourself. You have to listen to your body and listen to your needs so that you can fulfill your needs and your own love language. Just like you wouldn't expect to be able to understand somebody's like spoken word if you don't understand Spanish. No matter what somebody says to you in Spanish, it's going to mean nothing to you. So you have to speak in your own language for you to understand and receive that love. Now we're going to take a little turn, per usual, and take this from a faith perspective. Okay, so my mic died whenever I was recording that, and I didn't realize that it died until I went back to edit the video and realized there was no audio. And then I went to record the ending part of this video again today, and uploaded the little segment that I recorded and realized my camera was turned the wrong way. So then I had audio but no video. So here we are, third time's the charm to record the ending part of this podcast. So thank you for being patient with me. So I want to take a dive into the faith perspective of why you should love yourself in your own love language. If you think about your relationship with God, He created you intentionally to be you. Think of all the things that had to go right for you to be on this earth. So many things had to go perfectly for you to be who you are, look the way that you are, act the way that you do, live the experiences to become the unique person that you are today. God created each of us intentionally. He wants to love us personally, right? Each relationship with God is different, just like your relationship with your own kids. They are their own unique individuals, and so are you. You are the child of God, and He created you to be that way, which means you have to love yourself the way that He made you, the way that He wanted to communicate with you. Each of us are unique in our own ways, which means we require a unique way to love ourselves, to communicate with ourselves. And that's something that I'm trying to get across to you. We were meant to be stewards of what God provided to us. And what He provided to us is life, is breath, is existence. So that is something that needs to be cherished. You have to cherish your mind, your body, physically, emotionally, mentally. You have to be good stewards of what God has given you. And that means learning to love yourself the way that your heart understands it. Showing up for yourself in the ways that you can best benefit from it. Understanding what love language attunes to you the best so that you can feel your fullest and most refreshed version of yourself. And I want you to think about one of the most popular verses in the Bible of love your neighbor as yourself. And most of us go through every day thinking of this verse as, oh, loving your neighbor, treat someone the way that you want to be treated. Which, yes, we want to love our neighbor and care for the people around us. But it also assumes that you know how to love yourself already, that you are caring for yourself fully and to your fullest potential. So you can't show up for other people unless your cup is full. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot run on an empty gas tank. So to love your neighbor as yourself, you have to love yourself first. You have to learn to love yourself in the way that is most fulfilling and refreshing to you. That is what I'm asking of you today. Learn what love language fills your tank and learn to love yourself in that language. So thank you so much for being here and listening to this message today. If this resonated with you, make sure to share it with somebody else that it could have the same impact on. Thank you for your love and support, and I'll see you guys next week whenever we talk about the 5 love languages, what each of them means, some examples of how to love yourself in each of those languages. Your support means the world. Love you guys. See you guys next week. Bye.